More of the same keeps things the same, and that is what is blocking change. The reason you fear change is because you've been programmed to reject it unconsciously, because that change is the one element that's going to break you out of that penitentiary that you are unnecessarily thrusting yourself in. This is a self-imposed exile. This is an artificially induced incarceration that you're happy to be in this prison called the system. And that change that they want you to be afraid of, that's the divine attempting to say to you, listen, whether you realize it or not, you're a prisoner in your own mind. And we want to get you out by helping you extricate yourself from that unnecessary emotional incarceration that you've been thrusting on yourself your entire life. That's the reason why the system always keeps things the same. They want you to become associated with normalcy, familiarity, comfort, safety with the same. They don't want you to change. They control the narrative and the flow of it. They control technology and fashion and industry. And they want you to be thoroughly ensconced, meaning thoroughly embedded in that. They're telling you, trust us. We know better. We don't want you to think for yourselves. So therefore, we will do your thinking for you. How many people trusted them a few years ago with that and everything that went along with it? The one thing you didn't see in the news 4 years ago was the uprising around the world. Hundreds of thousands of people in almost every country protested publicly. Hundreds of thousands of people all over the world protested. You didn't see one lick of that on the news. No, you didn't. But all you had to do was just look at some YouTube videos and you'll clearly see what was going on. But because the personal journalists on the ground that had no vested interest with Big Pharma were showing you what was going on. I mean, I can't even begin to list Italy, Amsterdam, Israel, Australia. I mean, all over South America. They were like, enough is enough. And they rose up into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, globally, to say, I'm not going to consent to this. That madness they were trying to perpetuate. So this is just more of the same. They don't want you to change because change is growth. Growth is transformation. Transformation is expansion. Expansion is renewal. Renewal is progress. Progress is perpetual prosperity. And they don't want you to prosper. That's why you are where you are. I have personally watched the systematic elimination of the American middle class over the last 25 years because they've used Brazil as the paradigm. What they want is just one class, the upper class, because soon they want to use China as the paradigm, where there's nothing at all, just super mega filthy rich and dirt poor. Why do you think the salaries are reflective of 1977? $12 an hour? $15 an hour? Seriously, in 2024, they have the audacity to post jobs with $15 an hour before taxes. That means you're going to get $10 an hour after tax. $10 an hour. And you don't realize the inflation, the economy, all of the nonsense is artificially induced, the fluctuations, the artificial induced volatility of the stock market, which is all AI controlled. Then they have the cost of living and all of this nonsense that's illusionary. The debt, the deficit, that's all illusionary. It doesn't affect them. They only unnecessarily thrust it on you to keep that buffer between you and them. And this is not any different. That is a monetary buffer. What I'm speaking of is a metaphysical energy buffer because they don't want you to realize your potential, man. That's the whole premise of my channel. I ain't selling you nothing. I ain't scamming you. This is all free content. Straight from my heart to yours. I hope you can receive it the way I'm sending it. I hope nothing's lost in translation. I'm not even joking. That's why you fear change. Because to you, change is the existential threat, the invisible boogeyman outside your door that's going to kill us all. Let's eliminate it before it gets a chance to get in here and do what it's going to do to us. And you know what that is? To help you help yourself. Rise up, wake up, and shake you up. because sometimes life has to take you to an extreme in order to get your attention. Because God will never give up on you, man, even when you have given up on yourself. And the reason they create this unbearable reality is because in that toxicity of that low vibrational environment, they know full well that you will assimilate that energy, become that energy, project that energy, and receive experiences that match the same. And that's what's going to keep you stuck in that emotional penitentiary. Because it's an invisible prison. It doesn't exist. Just like their power is imaginary, they don't have any. If the Illuminati had any power, they would not have to hide their child sex trafficking activities underground. If they had any power, they'd be doing it right out in public. They wouldn't be having their demonic covens in the woods at night, under cloak of darkness. You know, these secret meetings that they get on their cell phones, the codes that they send for all of them to gather and cluster together so they could decide the fate of the world. They're all nut jobs. Where do you think Dr. Evil comes from? And all the people that wrote those crazy James Bond films with the enemy of James Bond. He's going to take over the world. This is predictive programming. They're so brazen. They operate with complete impunity above the laws of man, but they are not above the laws of God. They keep forgetting that. Even with their delusions of grandeur and total global domination, they are still fooling themselves because they're not in control of anything. This is just an illusion. They control your perception of that illusion. They do not control the energy that generates it. That comes from source. In conclusion, do not fear something that is going to help you exponentially. Not only help yourself, but help you help others. And that, my friend, is called change. If you don't like the word, change the word to transformation. Change it to growth, renewal, flourishment, recalibration, whatever sounds more flowery and more palatable to the fragility of your egocentric reality. Whatever gets you through, but you cannot avoid the inevitable. We all must change. Change is growth. Growth is renewal. Renewal is transformation. Transformation is expansion. That is what allows us to become better, stronger, wiser, more supple than our previous version of ourselves we left back there. If you confront this thing called change and you deny it, you deny yourself an opportunity to the limitless possibilities that the universe is offering you, because what you're saying is, I'm happy being miserable, stuck, and safe. End of story. And the universe is like, whatever you want, I can't save you from yourself. So there it is. The universe has been trying to help you help yourself. You have to stop consciously or subconsciously blocking it by embracing the new. And the only way you could do that is by letting go of the old. And that, my friends, is the absolute truth.